Hello and welcome to Mimi Sketchbook. Today my illustration was based on Paul David Tripp's book New Morning Mercies, and today is July 25th. Today in his devotion, Paul Tripp says, "When you hit hard times, when your weakness is exposed, be ready for the enemy to whisper in your ear." At my lowest, saddest time in my life, I have had the enemy whisper in my ear. And it was so distinct that I felt his breath on me. You might think that's pretty wild and crazy, but it's true. And it's happened multiple times. And when he speaks to you, it sounds pretty reasonable. He is saying just what you're thinking and amplifying it to the point that it's like, yeah, that's true. You got it. And because I was vulnerable, I fell into his trap and lost a lot of time and wasted a lot of energy. And one day when I had gotten so low in his trap, I called my sister. Now, my sister is one of the wisest people I know. And I remember calling her and could just barely get out her name. And she knew I was crying on the other end. And she just intuitively knew that I was caught up in fear. And she told me, she said, go to 2 Timothy 7. And she said it with me and talked it over with me, that God did not give us a spirit of fear, but a spirit of power, love, and a sound mind. And that verse just made so much sense because I thought I was going crazy. I thought I was becoming a lunatic. Here I had the enemy talking to me and giving me all this crap advice, and I was falling for it and doing a downward spiral. When all along, I should have been claiming this verse and knowing it and having it in front of me and being victorious with it, that God had given me a spirit of power, of love, and I have a sound mind. I'm not crazy. Now, I haven't often been that in bad a shape as I was that day that I spoke to my sister. But ever since then, I have been aware of when the enemy tries to get through to me. And he does in little ways, but never as bad as that one particular time in my life. But it usually is when I am vulnerable. Now, this morning when I got up, I was vulnerable because this week my daughter is going to be out of town. She and her family are going on vacation. And so that means that that safety net of that very close relationship I have with her and her family is going to be gone for a week. Now I'm happy for her, I'm glad for her. She's going to go and they're going to have a terrific time. But still, I have to admit there's something about that makes me feel vulnerable and alone. So when I got up this morning, it was like, oh, this is the day. They're leaving, they're packing up, they're probably on the road. And guess what? The enemy started talking to me again. And right away, I knew what it was. And I was able to start combating him and thanking God for this wonderful day and that opportunity my daughter and her family has. And Paul Tripp also says in his opening, the Lord will provide, and in faith, you'll move forward. So I have learned that when he starts talking, I have to get moving and have a plan to be engaged and productive. So today, it's Saturday, and I was so happy. We have a local farmer's market, and so I went out to that and ran into some friends and had lovely conversations and bought some delicious vegetables along with these beets. And my one friend said she had just had beet greens for breakfast. And I was like, you eat the beet greens? And she said, of course you do. So when I got home, I had a bit of an adventure trying something new. I cooked up the beet greens and sauteed them with some onions and bacon, and it was pretty good. And I think these beets are going to remind me what Paul Tripp says at the end of his devotions. When you hit hard times, when your weakness is exposed, be ready for the enemy to whisper in your ear, where is your God now? And be ready to respond, he is where he has been and always will be, with me in power and glory and grace. So thank you for joining me today at Mimi's Sketchbook. I hope this was an encouragement to you, and God bless.